Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the main event. This is PartySlate's first 2-day conference. As many of you know, we've been doing weekly webinars since the pandemic started, and we really felt that this giving back to the industry, especially during this challenging time, is really important. We've made this free for everyone, and we have the most incredible speakers, and I am so excited about this panel. This is one of my passion points is PartySlate was really built around making it easier to share your work with the world, your beautiful professional photos and your videos. And we have 3 incredible, amazing, talented photographers with us today to talk about, how you can really use your professional photos as what I like to call marketing gold. And of course, PartySlate has almost 1 million photos. I can't believe it. It's amazing. I remember when I was excited about 10,000 photos, but we're at about 900,000 photos. And it's a way for people to market their business and market the relationships they have and the inspiration they bring to the world and to the industry, through beautiful profile pages. And I'm going to show a couple later. But today, I'm really excited to introduce this panel. So I'm going to start with you, Dawn. Dawn Davis of Bob and Dawn Davis Photography. We've known each other for a long time, since the beginning of PartySlate. I'll never forget at one of our first sessions, you said, "How do I know you're going to be around, Julie?" I've never forgotten that. I'm like, I promise you, this is going to be a success. And you really were there for us since the very beginning. So Dawn, tell us a little bit about how you got into the photography world and your amazing partnership with Bob.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me, first of all. And so one, I'm not a photographer. I run the business. I do all the post-production, all the editing. Bob is our photographer. And then we have a team of second shooters that work with us. And Bob has been a photographer his entire life. So I kind of married into it.
Absolutely. And you know what, when you say running the business, you're not giving yourself enough credit, because I see incredible things you are doing.
We have this amount of time, so I'm trying to be really careful.
All right, well, we'll get into this more, but you are a driving force of the business, and we're very lucky to have you on this panel, so thank you. Roey, a huge fan of your work. We're always stalking your new stuff on Instagram, on your PartySlate profile. Tell us a little bit about your business and how you got started as a photographer.
Thanks, Julie. I've been a photographer since I was 11, when my dad gave me a camera, and I studied photojournalism. I was working in newspapers for several years. Traveling around the world, and always did weddings on the side, and moved back to New York from Washington, D.C., where I was working back in 2006, and started really developing weddings. I always loved the wedding day and the experience of spending all day with this couple and this party that's going on and the beauty that's involved. And since 2006, I've been doing pretty much exclusively that in New York, plus events. And we have a really nice team under us. My wife is my partner, and she is like your role, Dawn. She's amazing. She does everything except shoot. And then we have 5 other photographers and a crew of second shooters that help us as well as toners and editors. It's a lot. It's great.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to share your profile, but also some of your Instagram photos that have been some of the best performing on the PartySlate Instagram. So I'm really excited to talk about content marketing. And Duke, at PartySlate, we've been following you for a long time. I am a huge fan of your work, and we have been following the amazing events that you've been shooting. Really, yes, in LA, but all over the world, really. And I'd love to hear more about the type of events you shoot and how you got started.
Well, I kind of relate to Roey as well. I grew up with having 2 uncles who were photographers back in the day, and we grew up going to their studios, seeing what they do in the dark rooms and shooting, and so me and my brother were always exposed to it. And fast forward years later, we both sort of started going to photo school. My brother is also a photographer. He does commercial photography, and he teaches as well. My wedding photography started long ago, when I, along with working with many amazing photographers as an assistant and intern, I worked with a wedding photographer in Beverly Hills, and I learned a lot of great stuff from him. And once the whole world of wedding photography opened up to me, as far as like photojournalism and creating this amazing body of work with social media in mind. At the time it was Facebook when we were doing this kind of work. So that's how my wedding photography started. Yeah, I mean, and that's basically been all these years.
Great. And before we jump into the first question, I want to thank everyone for joining our first session of day 2. Please give us a shout out where you're calling in from. We've had people from all over the world. Yes, North America predominantly, but we've had people in Australia, New Zealand, South America. One silver lining of these digital events is wider reach to more people. So please give us a shout out as to where you're calling in from. So the first question to the panel is, we're the only industry in the world, and I feel so lucky for this, that has a built-in professional content marketing machine. So these incredible events always have an amazing photographer and a videographer. And with that comes this opportunity to not only make your clients happy and capture their memories, or whether it's a corporate event, but also to help market your services and market the services of your event partners. And so talk us through the process of sharing your photos after an event. I know for a fact, because we have been a client of yours and through events, it's like, we can't wait to get those photos. And you're like, oh my God, I'm one person. We have clients that actually pay us. Sometimes I hear a little resentment, like, you're not paying me for this photo. But most of the time I hear, yes, I'm going to get you these photos. I'm going to get you these photos. What is your process for, number one, making your most important client happy who's paying you, but then also leveraging these great photos for marketing? So Dawn, I'm going to start with you and then we'll go around.
Yeah, I love this question, because I am the most frugal person you'll ever meet on earth. I do not like spending money on advertising and spending money on that kind of stuff. And so social media has been just such a huge blessing. I don't understand when people will not give their images, because it's the thing that has really promoted our business and marketed us for us. It's the minute I'm done and my client has the images, I'm already giving links to our vendors to share them. I post it on PartySlate and tag all the vendors. I use a online service called Shootproof, and in Shootproof, I have a vendor album that I send out to the vendors, and that they can download any images that they want from that. I put the images I feel that they would relate to or use or want. So then I invite everybody to it.
Yes.
So
and does everyone want their own photos, or can you get away with, one highlight of the top 50 photos, or do you take the time to do like different?
I take the time to put maybe 100, 150 images into one album and tell them, here's 150 images, download what you want.
Perfect.
Well, it'll be like all the behind the scenes stuff. So it's not even just the pretty stuff. It's the makeup artist putting the makeup on, and, and maybe a shot of all the makeup laying on the table, or it's whatever, I just want them to have a whatever they want. Content. As long as I'm proud of the picture, it goes in the album, or in their album, the vendor album.
Roey, what about you?
Yeah, we always try to get our couples a few photos within a couple of days. And I always aim for, I tell them I'm going to send you 10, 15 photos, and it always ends up being 30 plus photos because I can't get it down.
Right?
You can't the wedding.
Yeah. And then, but it's, we keep our vendors very top of mind. It does build those relationships, and we do want, it's the only proof, except what they shot on their iPhone. It's the only proof of what they did. So it's really big. And we're able to, use our talents besides getting great pictures of the couple, but to get great photos of all the decor and all the flowers and the dress and everything else that's going on. And that's really amazing for them to have. And it's great for us to share that. It builds everybody's brand, and it helps everybody. It makes them look good, makes us look good. So it's a great thing to do. And we try to get our vendors photos as quickly as we can after an event.
How quickly do you get them out to typically?
It's within the week.
Yeah.
We've even we have planning and designer companies that hire us just to do decor for them.
Yeah.
Besides, separate from what the client needs or anything like that, we'll come in for 2-3 hours just to photograph details. Yeah. Because they realize how important that is, and to have that done professionally and on a really good camera and done with basic style. So
that's great. Duke, what about you? Tell us about your process.
After every event, first of all, in our community of vendors that we have, and I mostly shoot in Southern California unless I'm going destination weddings. A lot of the vendors know that we are so active in giving them photos and
Yes.
content that they need. So, you know, my team is like, you know, experienced enough to know what photos we need to get for each vendor.
Yeah.
And we designate who's going to do what type of photos on a wedding day or on the event that we're shooting. So a day or two after the event, me and my assistant will go through all the photos, and we know already by heart whose camera, like we have, let's say 4 or 5 cameras that we used between the 2 or 3 photographers. And we'll go through those photos, select the ones that we know will work best for the vendors. We'll select 10, 15 to 20 photos. We'll do a nice color correction. Sometimes even we do nice enhancement and Photoshop retouching because, you know, some elements need to be removed. You know, maybe a lighting guy left a sandbag there and they didn't pick it up on
A
time.
water bottle.
Maybe there's a water bottle. Maybe there's a tray station from the catering is there. We got to remove it. So, you know, you have to doll it up a little bit. And, you know, we know what the vendors really want. I mean, we know all the, you know, design work that a floral company has put together. So we know exactly where to get those shots. And also when we're selecting what we want to select. Same thing goes with the lighting company who puts so much meticulous amount of work, making sure all the lighting is perfect. So they want like a nice wide angle shot of the dance floor and, you know, the whole design concept. And, you know, even the bar people, you know, the band people sometimes want their photos because they got that beautiful setup going on.
Yeah.
So, you know, we try not to leave anyone off out of the photos. And, you know, we tend to give it to them in 3 to 4 days after the event.
Yeah, because we find that if you don't give it to them right away, they're tempted to use their iPhone photos. And we don't want them to use their iPhone photos because we want to credit you guys, the photographers, and make sure that everyone that worked so hard on the event gets credit, you know, for your hard work.
I think that we do a little more than I'd say, you know, someone who's going to take with their iPhone photos is, you know, we bring it, and I'm sure you guys will do too. We bring extra lighting ourselves. I mean, we don't just rely on the lighting company. They're doing a great work, but what we see with our eyes, I mean, you can only cover one side of that centerpiece with lighting, you know, with the lighting company. Then we have to bring in some field lights from the side, even do a flash maybe from somewhere in the background, just to create that ambience.
Yeah. Yeah, really the decor photography is such is a skill that at Party Slate we value so much, because I wish that everyone, you guys are amazing at shooting decor, had that mindset, because it just makes the experience so much better with that perfect lighting.
Well, you know, they plan a year in advance, all these little tiny details.
Yes.
And it's so important to capture them beautifully, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we actually have a question from the audience here of, this is something that I try to help the industry get organized, but you have hundreds of thousands of photos. I don't know if you could estimate how many photos you have, because you guys have been doing this for a long time. How do you stay organized so you can find that right photo at the right time for that newsletter or that proposal or social media pitch or even Party Slate article that we're writing? How do you stay organized? Dawn, do you want to talk about that first? I know you sent me a screenshot. I can't share it right this moment, but tell us how you do it.
Well, I'm type A to begin with, so everything needs to be in its place. I categorize all of our images by date, and then in that folder, the client's last name, and then in that folder is their engagement session, their contracts, their photos, and inside those photos is, you know, the raws, the cull, the edits, the slideshow, you know, whatever it is that we do, everything is by date.
Yes.
So for me, it's super, super easy as long as I know the date and I just look at my calendar for the date. What I've also been doing too is putting all my favorites in, you know, like if there's bouquets, I put them in bouquet folder, cakes, cake folder, you know, and so on.
So you have kind of groups of different categories ready to go. That's great. Roey, how do you do it?
Yeah, the same, you know, we're between my wife who helps, you know, we look at every photo that comes in to the studio, we look through everything, and we have kind of this encyclopedic memory of everything that we've shot. We do try to keyword photos when we can, and we do create, just like Don said, we create folders for each vendor within that wedding folder. Also, the way you store all the photos, the assets management is really important, to have the date structure right, and to have to get the credits from everybody. It's very important to have that done, to be organized. But really, a lot of it is because we do everything ourselves. It comes from the heart. It's authentic. It's not computerized or systemized, really. It's more really what comes to mind when we're thinking of what we want to post today.
That's great. How about you, Duke?
Kind of along the same line as what we do. Ours is a little more, I'd say, the way we organize it is, first we do our 10 to 15 top picks that we want to send it to, the main vendors. And then a week or two later, when we have more time to work on that particular event, then we start selecting anywhere between 50 to 80 top photos. And that's when these are the photos that we're going to keep, in a perfect category and folders where if you want to send it to a publication, for example, we want to send it to a, online company, whoever that might want to post these photos, they could take a look at it. So that it becomes a great story and sequential sort of photos where we'll have getting ready shots even, because, you got bouquets in the shots, you got the dress company in the shot, and it creates this story that if a publication wants to see A to Z of what happened in this wedding, they could see it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
With that in mind, we cover every vendor's photographs.
Yeah.
So when we back up all these images on our hard drives, everything is categorized. The 10, 15 selects, the top selects, magazine selects, and that makes our life easier.
Yeah, we find that photographers by necessity are the most organized because that's your business. We have more challenges with, some of the planners that, the Dropbox is a mess and this is a mess. And we're really trying to come up with some best practices for the industry on using, not to sound geeky, but a taxonomy for how do you organize your events? Is it by type of event, by geography, by dates, and really help them think like you guys do about your photos? Because for them, we do hear quite a few times that it's hard to find that right photo for that right piece of marketing that they're doing. So I think it's great that photographers are so organized.
If I could offer a tip, I think that keeping things organized by date is really important, and really it keeps things in an order in your computer. So the way we keep things is year, month, date,
Mm-hmm.
and then the name of the couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything, when it's in a folder, it all falls in date order, and it's very easy to spot what it is. And that's the first thing when you look for a wedding. Oh, what's that wedding we did last August? It was August 3rd. You go to find August 3rd, boom, there's your wedding. Yeah. So that's a great way to keep it. Opposed to a lot of people, and I did early on when I was starting, just keep things by the name of the couple. And after a couple of years, it's not, it's hard to find that.
Yeah, it's not helpful because there's so many events and you can't remember where they are. So we have another question from the audience here on, do you shoot with social media in mind? So of course you want to capture the story and you want it to be perfect for your client who's paying you. But how do you think about social media when you're capturing photos and really make sure you have those winning shots? And we're going to actually share a couple of your popular photos soon. But Roey, why don't you start? We'll start with you. How do you think about social media in mind when you're shooting?
I don't so much when I'm shooting. We're always looking for iconic moments. We're always looking for real emotion. We're always looking for, the hallmarks of what we do. But we definitely edit with social media in mind.
Yes.
We really want the experience to be unique when you come to our Instagram. Our page has alternating horizontal and vertical photos. So that kind of, puts us in a bind sometimes on what we want to post, but it creates a very beautiful aesthetic.
Yes.
And we want it to pop. We want it to be vibrant. We want it to bring a smile to your face when you're looking through it. The same with our website. So when I shoot, there's so much going on and so much to consider between the couple and their families and the planner and the vendors and all that. But I think that at the end of the day, what we bring back from an event, when it's edited right, it goes perfectly into social media and what our needs are and what our vendors need.
I think your point about what's unique or special, you're looking for those moments, those tend to be the photos that do the best on social media. There's something happening there that tells a story.
Yeah.
And I think that those are the ones that tend to do well.
And something that vendors also really like, and we try to provide from every wedding, is besides photos of their work, is photos of them working.
Yeah.
You know, photos of, a planner arranging the last napkin just right, or the floor, putting in that flower into the chuppah. They really want, those photos are really important to them, and it's really great to be able to provide them with that as well.
That's a really good point. Absolutely. Dawn, how about you? I know we've talked about this a couple times. Tell me about your how Bob thinks about it, or how you work with Bob to get those photos.
For me, I'm more book oriented. And so I like to make sure that he shoots for the book. So, Bob is the creative. Well, we're both creative, but he likes to go on a shoot and then take a ring shot and do this super creative, maybe gel it with a red gel and make this beautiful image of the ring. And it's gorgeous, but it doesn't fit in the book because there's no red. And so we've had to work on that together so that he could get that safe, beautiful, soft, romantic shot for me. Yeah. Unless that there is a lot of red in the wedding and it just makes sense. But for me, I'm always thinking book, not so much social media. I'm thinking, and also I've chosen Facebook to be my platform that I use the most because I like to tell a story. It's the same with PartySlate. If you look at all my albums on PartySlate, I have, over 100, maybe 170 images to tell the story. Because I feel when a bride comes and looks at my work or our work, I want them to feel like I love this story of this wedding. Yeah. And so I can't do that in 1 to 2 or 3, 4, 10 pictures. I'm more of a.
Yeah, you do a great job on Facebook. I would tell everyone in the audience not to underestimate Facebook. I know they have, some people hate Facebook, but especially older people like me, Facebook is still a place people communicate and engage and write comments. And so,
and our clients are generally the parents.
The parents are on Facebook, yes.
Yeah,
and they're probably on Instagram too, but they are definitely engaging and messaging on Facebook. So, so Duke, tell us about your thoughts on shooting for social media or with social media in mind.
Well, since we're so big on Instagram, to be exact, I think we definitely think a lot about what makes a great Instagram or social media photo. So yeah, a lot of times we'll think about that because we know that particular client that we have actually found us through Instagram, and when we get to know them better, they're like, yeah, I've been following your photos for years, and I love your Instagram, and I love how you put all the grids together and all that. So we get it that, these people are also very active in Instagram.
Yes.
Well, a lot of times it's funny, like when I'm shooting, I'll be like, oh my God, this will make a great Instagram photo for you guys and me. And they're like, oh, that's great. Can't wait to see it. Then there are some photos that, they're not so sort of Instagram worthy for my work, a lot of things like people doing their speeches, and we're not quite going to post them, but they're very important to these people, and we make sure. So part of what we do is Instagram or social media worthy, and we think about it. Like I'll see this great structure of like the arch at the chuppah, and we're like, okay, this is a great vertical shot. Make sure we go further back so there's enough room when we crop it. It fits perfectly in the Instagram post. So we think about that. Like a lot of times I'll back and forth or zoom in and out just to get that perfect shot, because I know it's not just me. A lot of the vendors want to use that for their Instagram posts as well. And they're going to have a problem like, oh, great. Part of my flowers are going to get cropped, or
yes,
the dance floor is going to be chopped up, or the bride's train is not going to fit in this shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely pay a great deal of attention to that. Again, I'm very active in Instagram, and that's why I think about that a lot.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think even for what does well on Party Slate, because we also look at the analytics there, the photos that tend to do well on Instagram are also the ones that are saved and shared on Party Slate. So again, I think it's that when there's multiple things to look at, it's not typically one thing, but multiple things to look at or connect with, and then also some sort of storytelling about the moment that makes it unique, or say, and some things we on Instagram, we can't believe it's so doing so well. Like it's like we just posted it, and it just some little nuance that caught the imagination of our Instagram followers that you just sometimes you can't predict. Other times you're like, oh, I know this is going to do really well. But I wanted to do a little bragging about your amazing photo portfolio, and we can continue the conversation. But I first wanted to talk about, Dawn, your Party Slate profile is stunning. One thing we added recently is the multiple cover photos for our premium members, which is a way to show not just your big events, but your outdoor events and your indoor events, and everything small, large, really captures the imagination. And as you go down, you guys have 73 real events, which is incredible. We have found a connection between the number of events you have and the traffic that you drive to your profile page. And we just added testimonials, so a shout out to our product team. You've got some great testimonials that link directly back to the events you actually did. So for example, I think this is a Lake Geneva wedding that is absolutely stunning. So this Lake Geneva wedding, I love this photo, by the way. Sorry, I'm getting lost on your profile again. But tell us a little bit about some of the things that have done well for you, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram. I know I love this video that you posted of Bob actually shooting from a boat. Tell us a little bit about this Instagram post. Oh, you're a mute, Dawn.
Unmute, sorry.
Yes, that's okay.
This is a behind the scenes, obviously, video of a shoot we were doing for a client that's writing a book. And so she hired us to come to her property and photograph her doing some lifestyle stuff.
Amazing. And then you also sent a couple other photos. I know this isn't ready to be published yet, but again, what an Instagrammable moment, or Facebook or whatever platform
Only
you
I was
use.
Instagramming.
Yeah, we got to get you
no,
back.
it's beautiful, and we're really blessed to be able to work with amazing people that throw amazing parties.
Yeah, and
This
I think
was actually this was actually taken in September of this year.
Beautiful. And I think one thing to note is this is a private couple. And so when you have a private couple where you can't share faces, something like this, showing these stunning flowers and the trees that are lit so well, and the fireworks, I always say there is a way, even if it's a private event, that you can get a few great photos that are great for social media. I'm just going to show one more photo here. Tell us about this photo.
Again, another private event. And so this isn't posted either, but this just goes to show the magnitude of like the setup of these core companies and what they do at these events. It's at Duke and Roey, you know this. I mean, it's really incredible what we get to do.
Yeah, capturing these moments, and especially during this pandemic where people just craving to be together, even if it's 30 people, these are capturing really, really special moments. So now I'm gonna go over to Duke Images, and again, these cover photos are just so. I love this one. I've been following this I can't remember when I first saw this photo, but is that at Pelican Hill? Or I'm not sure where that is.
Yes, it's Pelican Hill.
Okay, I've been there on a vacation, and it's like one of my favorite places. And I know you're going to talk a little bit about this wedding, but again, your photos, you have this welcome video, 42 real events, which is great. And then also I wanted to mention, really to talk about some of the venues that you're connected with. That's another way that Party Slate can help build your brand, is all these incredible venues that you've worked with are right there on your page, and then your name is on their page. And I know you guys all know each other in real life. We're just trying to bring a little of that magic to the digital space and that connection. So you have such incredible venues, all of you that you've worked with, and top-notch planners that are the best of the best, which is really another great way to build your brand. So let's go through a couple of your social media, really well-performing images, and I'm obsessed with this wedding.
So yeah, this was a destination wedding for the couple. They flew their entire family down to Malibu Rocky Oaks, which is down here in Malibu, California. This was a November wedding. I've been in this location many times, so I know exactly how the sun works there. It's magical when it goes behind those hills. It just illuminates the whole peaks of these mountains. So right after ceremony, I did their group photos. Every time I look back to see how the sun is looking, and right at the time that the sun was about to set, I was like, we need to get that sunset shot. And I remember I even left half their family waiting for us to get this photo and then bring them back to do their family photos on the balcony where the cocktail hour was, because I was like, you can't miss this shot. And,
Amazing.
And it was just, yeah, it was one of those shots that got, published in a lot of places. It still does till this day after like 2 years. We picked this photo to share with you because, we tend to want to see which photo gets the most response from our followers, like the likes and comments. And this was like one of the big ones. Yeah. So
It's amazing. And again, the combination of the photo and the post and the credits, it's just a really great way to amplify how stunning this is. And I know this was also a really a great performing post for you as well.
yeah, this was a very recent proposal. I think like 2-3 weeks ago, we posted. This was a real proposal. We timed everything right. I had talked to the event planner beforehand. They were going to do the proposal earlier. I was like, let's just wait, do it during the sunset, because the sun will be like in the horizon, perfect lighting. I'm going to create my own light. And I love motion. I love when things come into the shot, like confetti flying, wrapping
Great.
The couple, and you have the gorgeous lighting of the sun and the colors, and they're standing in the garden of roses. It's romantic, it's sexy, it's glamorous, it's fun, it's sentimental, so yeah.
Yeah, it's great storytelling. And I think, as I mentioned before, we find if there's multiple things that you can engage with, the sunset, the flowers, the couple, the floral, that's more likely to get you engagement rather than a kind of a singular photo, which is also, again, those are good too. So yeah, these two are just stunning. I'm going to turn it over to you, Roey. Your, again, profile also, again, I love the combination of people shots, decor shots, interactions in your cover. And as you scroll down, you have 49 real events and a good combination of inside, outside. This is my favorite venue in New York. Love, love, love.
Totally.
So beautiful. And also taking advantage of the testimonials that we just added. I will also mention our frequently asked questions. We just added, we're trying to get as much SEO content, as much content on the page to really help your page rank, but also to convert them so they contact you. Also incredible New York venues that we love that you've worked with. And so let's look at a couple of your Instagram photos that you found have been very engaging.
Sure, thanks. This I love. This is Lucy and Michael. You can scroll through these. There's a few here, and we've started doing where we have kind of a carousel that does a story through of the day to show all these great moments. Couple portraits, single portraits, decor, but just to really show the emotion and the fun of the day. And we find that people interact really, really well with that.
I love this shot. And I know the entertainment loves to show a dance floor that's, alive. And I think these kind of shots are so great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here it's something that we do a lot when we shoot out in Long Island is go out Sunday morning with a couple and jump in the sea, have them jump in the sea, and we photograph that. So this was Dan Chen, my associate, shot this wedding.
Beautiful.
Did an amazing, amazing job that day.
That's great. I love this. These are just such incredible photos. And again, when we talk about marketing gold, the reason we say that is, you have these great photos. Yes, it's for your couple, and yes, you're capturing their memories, but it also tells your capability to someone that's looking to hire someone for their special event. So again, we had a couple questions submitted before the panel. someone that's interested to know, are you hesitant to share event photos due to the pandemic? So I think we've all been a little bit on eggshells on, we don't want to be tone deaf, but people are still planning events. We've seen our organic traffic triple over the past 3 months because people are now planning. Yes, it was down March, April, May. We were all in shock, right? But now they're planning for the summer or September, October, and even sooner than that, depending on what state you live in. But tell us a little bit about how you're thinking about, sharing, whether it's Facebook or your newsletters or Instagram, due to the pandemic. Dawn, do you want to start? Oh, you're on mute again. I have a dog, so I'm always on mute.
Yeah, my dog is barking,
Yeah.
so that's why I've been muting.
Yeah.
I've been trying to be as gentle as I can for a couple different reasons. We have been extremely blessed this year with work, and I've been cautious about posting a lot of it because I posted a couple, and then I've had some feedback on, they're not wearing masks, there's more people, there's comments that I don't want my clients to see. And I'll delete any comment I don't like. I think there's just such a sensitive thing going around right now. And I don't want to brag about our work that we're blessed with so much. And it's a touchy line.
Yes.
It's hard.
Yeah, there's not a right answer, because I feel like, we have been so careful to, when we show a big event, we're like, oh, remembering last year. So it's very clear that it wasn't during the pandemic. And when we do show events, we always make sure it's safe and there is some sort of masks or other things that show it's a safe event. And even our email newsletter, I'll be honest, we sent about Friendsgiving because we do every year ideas. We got an email from someone saying that was insensitive. You shouldn't be having Friendsgiving now. So it is very sensitive, but we believe that you still have to be part of the conversation. And so you need to find a way to either look back or celebrate things that won't be controversial. Roey, how have you been approaching it with your posts?
It's been tricky sometimes, but we always want to inspire people. We want to bring joy to people. And I think that we are definitely very strong in calling out how beautiful and intimate and meaningful these micro weddings are. And they've been glorious, some of them, right? But there's also, I think, a market for the escapism that comes with showing photos of the 500 person bashes that we shot recently or last year or years back. And people want to see that. And I think that still makes people happy. And, there's a constant drumbeat of what we can't do and what we shouldn't do and all this. And I think that part of Instagram is to inspire and to uplift and to show them how great things are and will be again, So we kind of do.
The storytelling with your post really can make a difference, because we've been really like remembering when, and we'll be there soon, so celebrate soon. So I think as long as you're saying that and not being insensitive and saying this 500 person party was last week, that is really important. Again, especially for us in the Chicago, LA, San Francisco, New York. I mean, we have to be extra careful in some cities.
Yeah, they're not hiring photographers for those 400 person weddings in New York City that you've been.
No. But Wisconsin, Florida, and Indiana might be. Yeah. So, Duke, tell us about how you're thinking about sharing in the pandemic.
It's been a surreal experience during this pandemic. We actually been very cautious about what wedding we should book and what we don't. We had gotten calls to go to Dallas, shoot a 300 people indoor wedding because they had the permission to do so. We turned it down. A couple of other indoor events that would have been big weddings we didn't want to book. We only booked like the weddings that were safe, outdoors for the most part, not a giant amount of gatherings. And even with the post, we've been sort of, very cautious and keeping things in mind, almost politically correct, because, Southern California is not Wisconsin, it's not, North Carolina or South Carolina. So, and if we post a photo, we tend not to show like the group of people gathered with no mask. And, to to actually, some of these weddings, they actually did their testing the day before. They did a rapid testing. They had a 24-hour turnaround on the results, and people who were maybe infected, they didn't come. They did a on-site temperature check, even from us. So they were very careful of keeping things in consideration. But we still didn't want to risk things like that.
Yeah.
We didn't post like.
Because sometimes you can't tell that story that they had the testing or whatever. It's just too hard to share that. So yeah, the decor photos without, you don't want to show a crowded dance floor. And again, unless you're pointing back, like I missed the days of our New Orleans launch party, that something like that, you have to be very careful. But I do think continuing to post, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, your newsletter, just being part of the conversation and just knowing that people are planning big events for next year, which I'm, thank God for vaccine and all the good things that are going to come back. Because I know I think people will want to celebrate more than ever and value being together, whether it's corporate or creating family memories or fundraisers. Back to a question we got earlier. It's been a tough year. Even people that are doing well, not being able to see family and some other hardships and feeling for people that have been impacted. What are some silver linings that have come from the pandemic that you think will either influence events or influence your business moving forward? Dawn, you're on mute. Dawn,
Sorry.
why don't you? Yeah.
Well, obviously the biggest thing is just spending time with family. I mean, truly, that we've been working together since I quit my job as an accountant in 2005. And so we've been just, owning your own business. You've never worked harder in your life.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, build this brand and work countless hours, so this year has been really wonderful. We haven't photographed. A lot of our weddings were postponed. We've done about 5 or 6 micro weddings, and we've had other really amazing events pop up. But just the quality time that we've been able to spend together with our kids. And my daughter still lives at home. She works full time and she's back to work, but just cooking in the kitchen and dancing in the kitchen and it's been absolutely incredible. And so I feel like even though everybody feels like they're stuck at home, that once the real world gets back into the busyness of it, we're going to be missing these moments that we've had together.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say that's definitely a silver lining for me is I'm actually cooking and I'm not a chef. Family dinners, 5 nights a week, never happened before. So I think that's a silver lining, but I definitely am excited to also get back out again. So I'm an extreme extrovert, so it's hard for me to be.
And I'm the opposite. I love quiet.
My husband's loving life right now. He's an introvert. He's loving it. So I'm like, I need to see people. Roey, what about you? Silver linings?
Well, I think that something that's come around that's been really great is that it expands the sphere of the wedding days. So it used to be that you had to be there. And now we've come so much farther than Uncle Dan holding up a cell phone with Skype on it that, you have these streaming services. We've become experts at that. And so I think that's going to kind of expand the scope of the reach of the weddings.
Yes.
And internationally, right? So that's really amazing as far as the events that are concerned. I think that's been kind of a game changer.
Yeah, we love meeting with people on Zoom. We probably had 10% on Zoom before the pandemic, and now it's 100%. And the ability to connect with people, it's the next best thing, seeing people's faces. And now when I do a phone call, I'm like, oh, I'd rather be on a Zoom, just to create that connection. So I think that is a very, very positive thing. Duke, what's your perspective on silver linings?
Yeah, well, on the personal level, spending time at home has been great. Been doing a lot of biking, a lot of hiking. We just got our new puppy, and he's just like full of life, almost crazy. So keeping us on our toes. Like my watch always tells me like I've done 1,000 steps today, which is great. On a business level, it's amazing how people step outside the box and do their backyard weddings and ranch weddings and garden weddings. I mean, I've I've done so many of those in this last 3-4 months that I could think of. And these are people who already had their weddings planned in the big ballrooms, 300-400
Yeah.
gathering, the ballet and all that lavishness. And they still did a great theme weddings, but 15, 20, 30 people. So it's been an eye-opening experience to see all of that.
Yes.
And also my office people, before pandemic, there were 4 people here. If one person didn't make it to work that day, I'd be like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? We got all these photos, we gotta send to people. Now everyone's working from home and we're Zooming every day. I'm like, well, I guess we could get some work done this way too. FTP photos all the time, like 10, 15 times a day to them and, vendors and clients. And, so it's been crazy, but great.
Yeah. Well, I think the silver linings are going to stay. We're having a panel on virtual events too, and I think that the virtual event component will just be an add-on to future events. So whether you're having that fundraiser, you can also have a virtual component and have a hybrid event. I definitely don't think virtual will ever replace in person. I can tell you for a fact that people I've talked to can't wait to get back to events and parties and being together. But I do think that silver lining of people that can't make it to the event, they're not able to make it to the event, that they can somehow participate in a meaningful way is another silver lining that we're excited about. So thank you so much for joining us. Photographers for Party Slate are really the lifeblood, and without the photos and of course the videos too, we wouldn't be what we are. So we appreciate the photographers that infuse this professional content creation. And it is different. As much as the iPhone continues to improve, we know that the thoughtfulness of a professional photographer, I can spot an iPhone photo, I don't care how good it is, in a second over a professional photo. And we only allow professional photos on Party Slate. And it's just something that's so important to our core, essence and value proposition. So thank you for capturing all of the magic that you do and sharing your insights about taking these photos and turning them in to marketing gold. So I just really appreciate all of you and the unique perspectives. And I see Bob in the background there, Don, so tell him we appreciate him as well. And then coming up today on day 2, we're really excited. I bet you guys have all shot these South Asian weddings. We are going to be talking about some of the top thought leaders and producers of South Asian weddings, and really learn more about the nuances of the traditions and multi-day events and the stunning colors. And I can't wait to have that South Asian panel that's coming up. And then later, the one and only Colin Cowie is going to have a keynote, and he always has great perspective and lots of ideas for trends that we're going to see next year as the world opens back up again. So thank you guys so much again for being here. As a reminder to everyone who joined today, if we didn't get to your questions, we will definitely follow up with you soon and also share all of their contact information so you can reach out directly if you'd like to work with them or if you have any questions for them. We will make sure you have that. So thank you guys again. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for spending time with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, Julie. You guys do a great job at Party Slate. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you so
we
much.
love Party Slate.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
You too. Bye-bye.